know what hurt me the most? My mama and dad ain't never been worth 10,000. I did all this. Robbed, stole, fought, died, lied, just to be right. You got me fucked up.
This man was just on live breaking down in tears, and now clips of him and J. Prince Jr. going at it are blowing up everywhere. But what the blogs aren't showing you is how a family sitting on hundreds of millions ended up turning their own blood against him. Here's exactly how the clip and the deal that started all this really went down. Right now, as you're watching this, there's a video spreading like wildfire across every platform online, and the whole hip-hop world is losing it. The footage shows Finesse2tymes and J. Prince Jr., two people who were supposed to be stacking money side by side as business partners, getting caught up in a serious face-off. This moment completely shattered any last hope that these two could ever move together again. And this ain't even the first time something between them has gone public. There's been clips surfacing from 2023 all the way through 2025 showing close calls, heated words, tense moments during dice games, and situations where people had to step in before things got too wild. One time in 2024, OG Boo Dirty himself had to jump in between them.
So he's like, but can you go and send a name? And when I wasn't able to do it, when he wanted me to do it, it became a show. So it wasn't like I didn't want to do it. It was
just to keep the situation from spinning totally out of control. Each one of those moments was a warning sign. Everybody in the culture could see it clear as day, but nobody could stop the tension from spreading. And now, with this new footage lighting up the internet, the whole story has exploded. But to really understand why this clip has the entire game shaken up, why this isn't just another celebrity disagreement, you've got to dig deeper. Because this is the final chapter of something way more personal and way more complicated than anyone thought. You've got to rewind all the way back to the very beginning. You need to understand the deal, the contract, the paperwork that kicked off this whole situation and turned what should have been a big win into a total trap. Let's take it back to the summer of 2022. Ricky Hampton Jr., better known to the streets and fans as Finesse2tymes, had just come home after serving nearly 4 years for a firearm-related charge connected to a nightclub incident in Forest City, Arkansas. Reports said a weapon went off during that event, but he took responsibility.
They just see like Honeycomb from Alabama. They're like, yeah, man, check him out when you get out. Ooh, you get out, man, he hard, man. You will really like him, man. You remind me so much, honey. Y'all just like, you know.
Did his time and came back ready to rebuild his life. Now the industry had all eyes on him, waiting to see what his next move would be. And what happened next looked straight out of a movie. J. Prince Jr., the boss of Mob Ties Records, personally pulled up in a private jet to bring Finesse on board. He even handed him a major chain and welcomed him back like royalty, rolling out the red carpet as if this was the start of a powerful new chapter. It looked like all the struggle and hard work was finally about to pay off big time. And this wasn't just any random deal. Mob Ties Records was directly connected to the legendary Rap-A-Lot Records, the same powerhouse that J. Prince Sr. founded back in 1986. That Houston legacy helped launch icons like the Ghetto Boys, Scarface, and Bun B of UGK, changing the entire path of Southern hip-hop. So when Finesse put his signature on that contract, he wasn't just joining some small indie label. He was stepping into an empire, a legacy with roots running almost 4 decades deep, built on a name that carries massive respect and serious influence throughout the whole music industry.
Telling everybody right now, Whack 100 got a clean slate. If you out there doing foul, crooked shit, leave me alone. I will expose you. I am an exposer.
So if you knew that I was trafficking, be happy to get me caught up.
But here's where things took a wild turn. What started out feeling like a fairy tale comeback started to look more like a nightmare. And that's not even an exaggeration. According to a document that surfaced online back in early 2026, Insiders claimed that the contract was structured in a way many legal experts called unfair. The reported breakdown was shocking: 35% going to Finesse, another 35% to Mob Ties, and the final 30% landing with JPE, also known as JPE. And it didn't stop there. That split supposedly stretched into everything: international royalties, merchandise, touring income, and basically any source of revenue tied to Finesse's name or talent. And the part that really had everyone talking when that contract surfaced, the detail that set the internet on fire, was the JPE reportedly held full managerial control over all business decisions. That meant even though the deal was supposed to give Finesse creative freedom, the real power behind the scenes stayed completely in the hands of the Prince family.
Well, when you saw, that means your attention is to you hyena, you just feeding at the mouth for some green, some money. Now, your problem gonna be Finesse. Now, it ain't gonna even excite you no more. Your life gonna be miserable because guess what?
In viral live streams from January 2026, the Memphis rapper had an emotional moment in front of thousands of viewers, breaking down as he explained how he dropped 2 full projects with almost no label push. He talked about paying between 10 to 15 grand out of his own pocket for each music video and watching major show offers get declined by Mob Ties. Those opportunities could have brought him independent deals worth anywhere from $10 to $20 million, and it was slipping right through his fingers. You could feel the frustration, a man trying to hold it together while the whole world watched it play out live. Then he opened up about what was truly breaking him down inside, something way beyond contracts or percentages. With his voice shaking, he said, "You know what hurt me the most?" The pain was clear before he even finished the sentence, and when the words finally came out, it exposed the heart of the issue in a way nobody could ignore. He talked about how the people in charge of his career, the ones holding the keys to his music, were born into generational wealth.
So when I got to Atlanta, jail house, they had phones. So I was seeing it. So this the honeycomb nigga they was talking about. So I reached out to him.
While he had to fight for every inch of his come up. That contrast right there, the gap between hundreds of millions and barely 10 grand, tells the whole story in just 2 lines. And the frustration only grew stronger as he opened up about everything he'd given up to reach this point. Those words hit hard once you really think about the context. Here's a man who came from the absolute bottom, went through tough times behind bars, and risked everything just to build something real, only to realize that the people in charge of his career were living a completely different reality. We're talking about folks born into privilege while he was out here grinding for survival. And the Prince family's name has carried whispers for years in the industry. Athletes like Z-Ro have spoken publicly about how they were treated under the Rap-A-Lot banner. And the family's strong influence in the business world has always been a topic of conversation. For years, fans and insiders online have debated whether that power was being used fairly, and many believe stepping to the Princes could lead to serious career backlash.
Like I said, bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro f me in jail. Bro, fuck with me in jail. I ain't gonna never put no cap out, bro. Like, it is what it is.
Social media stays filled with memes and speculation about anyone challenging that circle. But underneath the jokes, there's a very real tension that's been part of hip-hop culture for decades. Feeling trapped, Finesse even said he was willing to drop 5 full albums just to buy his way out of that contract, a desperate move to reclaim his freedom and take back control of his career. He started calling out J. Prince Jr. directly, saying he kept dodging real conversations, setting up fake meetings, and spending big on personal luxuries while his own artist was out here struggling just to stay afloat. At 33 years old, with 10 kids depending on him, the stress had reached a breaking point. Lil Woody, during his Vlad TV interview, had already broken down how wild this whole situation looked from the outside. He didn't hold back. He went straight at Finesse, saying the rapper failed to do the one thing that could have saved him from all this drama. But Woody wasn't finished there. He fired back with one of the coldest lines anyone's dropped in an interview this year, flipping the whole reading challenge controversy right back on Finesse.
They were like, he with me, so I reached out, I seen it. You know what I'm saying? My guys and shit, they were like, bro, with you, like, he always posting shit. So I reached out, we chopped it up, and it was what it was. And
Then he doubled down, explaining how the warning signs in that contract were obvious to anyone paying attention. He kept it real, saying the deal was so clearly off that you didn't need a law degree to spot the problem. Then Woody dropped a question that everyone in the culture's been asking ever since this saga started, the one that still doesn't have a clear answer. How did it get this far without anyone stepping in? That's the million-dollar question. And to top it all off, Woody turned the whole literacy debate on his head with some raw street wisdom, the kind that comes from experience, not textbooks. He was on fire that entire interview, dropping gem after gem, making sure his words hit like truth bombs that couldn't be ignored. Woody was really speaking facts with that one, no doubt about it. And that right there is the root of this whole situation. That deal, that setup, that's the trap that started it all.
And what's weird is, yeah, you had the situation where Honeycomb Brazy was saying mob ties. He was like, and he was staying loyal to Finesse2tymes while he was locked up. And he turned down the bag for Moneybag Yo, like you said, right?
So when you hit play on that clip of Finesse2tymes and J Prince Jr. facing off, you're not just seeing a random argument between two guys who lost their cool. You're witnessing the full explosion of a partnership built on pressure, disappointment, and promises that never came true. It wasn't just about tension, it was years of frustration bubbling over. What you're seeing is the moment when everything that had been hidden behind the scenes finally burst out into the open. If the contract was the problem, then what followed was the ripple effect spreading through every connection Finesse had. It started breaking down friendships, tearing apart alliances that had been built through real struggles, and dragging people into drama they never expected to be part of. Because the chaos from this mob ties situation didn't stay just between Finesse2tymes and J Prince Jr., not even close. It spilled into other disagreements, other fallouts, and a chain reaction of conflicts that made this one of the most unpredictable and difficult chapters in Finesse's already turbulent journey.
I was in the shoe, and when I used to rap on the dough and shit, and it was like, man, you know Honeycomb from Alabama? I'm like, nah, man, but you like the third.
And no bond took a harder, more public, and more unnecessary hit than the one between Finesse2tymes and his former label mate, a relationship that once looked solid but ended up breaking in front of the whole world to see. Honeycomb Brazy. Now, to really understand how this whole fallout started, you've got to go back to how these two even connected in the first place. Their bond came from a place where a lot of Southern rap alliances are born, behind the walls. While Honeycomb Brazy was serving time for charges linked to a tragic 2021 case involving his family, Finesse was also locked up on his own federal situation. People inside who knew both of them started acting like matchmakers, saying they had to link up. Finesse actually told the story himself. At first, he had no clue who Honeycomb was, but the guys on the inside kept hyping him up, telling him to check out this rapper from Mobile who was making serious noise in the streets and on the come-up. Eventually, when Finesse got moved to a facility in Atlanta where they had access to phones, he finally got the chance to look into Honeycomb's music, and the connection was instant.
Christian with me like my man, but he on the phone, he want me to Zelle. I don't even know what the Zelle is. I don't know what.
Both of them were cut from the same cloth, raw, real, and determined to make something happen despite everything stacked against them. From there, they started building a real brotherhood. Finesse's circle even confirmed that the bond between them was genuine, not just business talk. And Finesse made it clear that the support Honeycomb showed him while they were both locked up was 100% authentic. It was real love and mutual respect. Two Southern rappers who saw themselves in each other. Both came from tough situations, both knew the grind firsthand, and that shared struggle built a solid foundation that was supposed to last long after they came home. Honeycomb Brazy stayed loyal to Finesse while he was locked up, standing firm the whole time. He even turned down a $40,000 feature offer from Moneybag Yo just to show where his loyalty stood. On top of that, Brazy reportedly sent him around $1,500 in support.
What do you mean, dummy? That mean I'm a snitch? No, idiot.
But you just snitched on him, right?
How?
Well, I guess snitching on alleged snitching.
How?
You just made it sound as if like...
And when someone behind bars sends money out of their own family's pocket to help another person, that gesture means more than any dollar amount ever could. But when Finesse came home in 2022, things started going left almost right away. Honeycomb Brazy expected that same love to come back around, and Finesse said he was all for it, but the timing couldn't have been worse. He described being just 3 days out of federal custody, trying to figure out how to move again, barely getting settled, and suddenly getting calls about money. In the middle of that chaos, Honeycomb Brazy was reaching out expecting payment, and when Finesse couldn't come through immediately, the vibe shifted fast. It wasn't about greed, it was about pride, pressure, and timing. 2 men from the struggle trying to communicate loyalty and respect, but letting ego get in the way instead. Eventually, Finesse sent some money over, reportedly between $1,500 and $2,000, thinking that was enough to clear the air and move forward.
But then Finesse2tymes, one of his first videos is with Moneybagg Yo when he got out, which is an odd look, man.
He got 4 deals.
But silence followed, and soon after, Honeycomb Brazy reached out again, asking Finesse to pull up on his mother with some cash support. Finesse wanted to make it happen, but couldn't get it done right away, since he was based in Memphis and the people he usually called on weren't around at the moment. Then everything went public, and it got messy fast. Honeycomb Brazy dropped a diss track titled Why He Lie, calling out Finesse and accusing him of being fake and ungrateful. Finesse fired back by trolling Brazy all over social media, throwing shade and questioning his character. Things got even wilder when Brazy's mom, Miss T, stepped in to defend her son online, and that's when Finesse crossed a serious line by responding directly to her. In street culture, that scene is going way too far, and from that point on, the situation exploded beyond repair.
I'm dealing with shit. I'm dealing with who they daddy worth $300-something million, bro.
Then came the talk about snitching, when Honeycomb accused Finesse of being connected to FBI surveillance during his 2023 arrest. But later, Brazy looked over his own paperwork and took the accusation back, saying it wasn't true after all. Still, by that point, the damage had already been done, and the internet was eating it up. Naughty later broke the whole loyalty situation down with no filter, explaining exactly why people in the culture were side-eyeing Finesse so hard. He reminded everyone how Honeycomb turned down real money out of loyalty while Finesse was behind bars, and then questioned why that same energy wasn't returned once Finesse came home. According to Naughty, it all came down to one cold truth. When you move out of desperation instead of strategy, you end up getting trapped by the same game you were trying to outsmart. That one line hit hard because it summed up the entire situation perfectly. Loyalty tested.
It's a lot going on down there in Houston. The club scene's been torn apart.
Pride wounded, and 2 artists caught in a cycle that could have been avoided if trust hadn't turned into tension. After all that back and forth, things went quiet for a minute, but it was the kind of silence that comes right before another storm. Both camps started moving in their own directions, but the tension never really died down. Finesse was still doing shows, dropping music, and trying to prove he could stand on his own, while Honeycomb was rebuilding his name and fan base after coming home. But even from a distance, their unfinished business was still hanging in the air like smoke. Rumors started spreading again when fans noticed both artists were booked for the same festival in Houston. People online were already predicting chaos before either one even touched the stage. Screenshots of behind-the-scenes arguments started floating around and fans began choosing sides. It felt like the internet was waiting for something wild to happen. But when the festival day came, something unexpected went down. Instead of a confrontation, both camps stayed out of each other's way completely. No words, no gestures, no drama, just an eerie silence that had everyone confused. Some people online said that was a sign they were finally ready to move on, while others believed it was just a calm before the next blow-up. A few days later, though, a clip surfaced from an after-party, and this time it looked like one of Finesse's people was caught on camera exchanging words with someone from Bronzy's circle. It wasn't a major situation, but it reignited all the talk that maybe this story wasn't over yet. Fans started digging for clues, trying to figure out who said what, who was involved, and whether the 2 rappers were secretly plotting something behind the scenes. Now everyone's wondering what comes next. Will they ever sit down and squash it, or is this just another chapter in one of the most complicated feuds the Southern rap scene has seen in years? Whatever the case, it's clear this saga is far from finished, and every move from either side keeps people watching like it's a movie playing out in real time. Naughty was speaking straight truth with that one. No filter, no sugarcoating. But here's where the story took a wild turn that nobody online could have predicted. After all the diss tracks, all the disrespect, and all the online chaos, Finesse and Honeycomb Bronzy actually ended their feud by late 2025. And the reason they made peace was both simple and heartbreaking. They finally realized they'd been fighting each other, while the real problem was the label that had been taking advantage of them both the whole time. BWA Kane even confirmed it, saying there was a phone call where both artists talked about growth, peace, and how they were done clashing over crumbs from a table that was never meant to truly feed them. That moment showed real maturity. Two men who'd finally stepped back and saw the bigger picture. But even as that storm started to settle, new ones were forming all around them. Wack 100 went on a full-blown online rant aimed at J. Prince Jr., making explosive claims about how things were being handled in Houston. Around that same time, content creators and commentators like 1090 Jake and DJ Academics started fueling more controversy with talk about alleged snitching and behind-the-scenes drama, even though none of it was ever proven. Then came an even wilder twist. An artist named 2 with a K posted online saying he'd offer $20,000 to anyone who could prove Finesse ever told on someone. Not long after that, a Memphis figure who goes by Seti Nash claimed he was part of the paperwork, and the internet went crazy trying to piece everything together. Meanwhile, Finesse was already juggling legal battles from his own cases in September, October, and January between 2025 and 2026, trying to fight the system, the rumors, the industry politics, and the court of public opinion all at once. So now the question is, what really happens next? This is the part of the story that most people in the game don't even want to touch. Content creators, industry insiders, even veteran media personalities, they all tiptoe around it. This is that territory where YouTubers start choosing their words carefully, where folks in the business start speaking in codes, and where even the loudest voices in hip-hop think twice before hitting record. Because to truly understand what Finesse2tymes is up against right now, to really grasp how serious it is when you see that viral clip of him standing face-to-face with J. Prince Jr., you gotta understand the power behind the Prince family name. We're talking about a dynasty that's been shaping the Southern music scene for nearly 38 years. J. Prince Sr., born James Prince in Houston back in 1965, founded Rap-A-Lot Records in 1986 originally to help his younger stepbrother and his friends stay focused on music instead of the streets. That label went on to redefine Southern hip-hop, introducing legends like Scarface and the Ghetto Boys, and creating a foundation that still influences the culture today. But behind all that success, there's always been a certain mystique surrounding the business side of the Rap-A-Lot Records. Throughout the 90s, government agencies reportedly looked into the label, suspecting that its rapid rise and street ties might have had more layers than people realized. There were investigations, wiretaps, and plenty of rumors, but through it all, J. Prince Sr. never backed down. He built a reputation for being both respected and untouchable, someone who commands loyalty and demands it in return. That's why so many people in the industry whisper when it comes to the Prince family, because stepping on that legacy isn't just seen as bad for business. But in the end, all those investigations led to nothing. Not a single charge was filed against J. Prince Sr. In fact, the two main DEA agents who led the case ended up being convicted for misconduct themselves. J. Prince Sr. later described the whole situation as a racially motivated setup, and the outcome only strengthened his reputation in the streets and in the industry, solidifying his image as a man who can't be shaken, no matter what's thrown at him. His son, J. Prince Jr., naturally stepped into the family legacy, carrying both the power and the mystery that came with it. Jr. made his first major mark in the music industry back in 2007 when he discovered a then up-and-coming artist named Drake on MySpace. He connected Drake with Lil Wayne, setting up the introduction that led to one of the biggest deals in hip-hop, bringing Drake to Young Money. That move sparked a later legal battle in 2012, where Jazz Prince sued Cash Money Records for unpaid royalties, eventually reaching a reported $11 million settlement. So when you hear J. Prince Jr.'s name, understand that it carries serious weight, decades of influence, connections, and generational power behind every move he makes. But the controversy surrounding Junior isn't just business talk, it's much deeper than that. In November 2022, tragedy struck when rapper Takeoff lost his life during a private event in Houston that J. Prince Jr. was reportedly hosting. Footage from that night spread online, showing Junior at the scene, and it instantly ignited a firestorm of theories, outrage, and speculation across social media. Takeoff's bandmate, Offset, even spoke out publicly, calling out the Prince family directly, and that moment only added more fuel to the already intense public debate. Then came more accusations connected to the passing of jeweler Duke the Jeweler, with online commentators suggesting it all happened during a dice game gone wrong. None of these claims were ever confirmed, but the chatter around them kept the Prince family name in headlines for months, turning Junior into one of the most discussed and polarizing figures in hip-hop culture. In 2023, unverified online allegations started circulating across several platforms, but through all of it, the Prince family stayed completely silent. Not a word, not a statement, nothing. This is the same powerful family that Finesse2tymes decided to challenge openly, the same family whose son he went face-to-face with in the viral footage that had the entire internet buzzing. And that's exactly why so many people across the culture are watching this situation so closely. Everyone's holding their breath, waiting to see how it unfolds, because going up against that kind of legacy isn't something you see every day. Wack 100 gave his own take on what's happening down in Houston, trying to connect the dots between the Prince family's business influence and the bigger picture in the industry. Then he dropped a bold statement, the kind that most people in hip-hop would never dare to say out loud. Wack made it personal, saying he was done staying quiet about people who, in his eyes, weren't moving right in the game. When the show's host tried to challenge him on how it looked publicly, the conversation got intense fast. The back and forth ended up highlighting a much deeper issue, the double standards and contradictions that always come up in hip-hop whenever that snitch label gets thrown around. It exposed how complicated those conversations really are when street loyalty, business, and image all collide in the public eye. Meanwhile, as of February 2026, J. Prince Jr. hasn't said a single word about any of it. Not about Finesse's emotional breakdowns, not about the viral footage, not about the accusations, nothing at all. The silence from his side speaks louder than any statement could, leaving everyone guessing what's really going on behind the scenes, and whether this story is just getting started or quietly coming to an end. In both the streets and the culture, that kind of silence hits different. It carries a weight that words just can't touch. For Finesse2tymes, the pressure right now is at an all-time high. His legal situation keeps stacking up, with reports of supervised release violations and investigations keeping him under a microscope. And now, with that viral footage of his tense face-off with J. Prince Jr. spreading everywhere, the whole situation feels more serious than ever. That kind of clip brings the wrong kind of attention, the type that could add even more problems to his plate. Fans online are flooding his comments, telling him to lawyer up, fight for his freedom, and get his business right. But it's not that simple when there's still a binding contract out there, with his name tied to one of the most powerful families in Southern hip-hop. As long as J. Prince Jr. holds control over his music catalog and career moves, and as long as the Prince family's influence hovers over Houston's rap scene like a permanent storm cloud, Finesse is still stuck in a battle that no viral moment or trending clip can solve alone. This is bigger than a fight. It's about control, power, and ownership. Finesse2tymes is standing at a crossroads between staying trapped in the system or finally breaking free and claiming what's his. But here's the question, what do you think? Do you believe Finesse can really get out of this deal? Is J. Prince Jr.'s silence part of a smart chess strategy, or is it a quiet warning before something major happens next? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. I want to see where y'all stand on this one. And if you're still tuned in this far, make sure to like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss what happens next. because this story, it's far from over.